I'm 65 and I want to tell you something that changed everything about how I understood my body after menopause. The cookie I ate before menopause and the cookie I eat today are the same cookie. But after menopause, that cookie creates a blood sugar spike 42% bigger than it used to. Nothing changed in my diet. Everything changed in my hormones. And when I learned that and learned what to do about it, my symptoms started to shift in ways nothing else had managed. I'm Barbara Lawson. I'm 65 years old, and I want to tell you the truth about what menopause actually is. Not the version I grew up with, which was essentially hot flashes, some discomfort, and then it was over. The full picture is so much more complex and so much more important than that. I had joint pain I attributed to getting older. I had brain fog I assumed was just tiredness. I had weight appearing around my belly that I couldn't explain with any change in what I was eating. I had mood changes, sleep problems, hair thinning, energy drops, more than 12 distinct symptoms at once. And I had accepted almost all of them as simply the price of aging. Nobody told me that most of those symptoms were connected. Nobody told me they were connected to what was happening with my hormones, specifically my estrogen. And nobody told me that I could do something about most of them, not by suffering through or by resigning myself to decline, but by understanding what was actually happening in my body and making targeted, science-backed choices about food and movement. This is what I want to share with you today. Before I get into it, I want to ask you something honest. How many symptoms of menopause are you currently experiencing, and how many of them have you simply accepted as normal aging? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one this week. And if this is already resonating, please like this video and subscribe. I make these specifically for women our age, and I don't want you to miss what's coming. Let me start with the glucose connection because this was the finding that surprised me most and that explained more about my experience than anything else. When we go through menopause, our ovaries produce less estrogen and progesterone. This hormonal shift affects many systems in the body, but one of the most clinically significant effects is on how the body processes carbohydrates. A large study involving over 1,000 women found that after menopause, the same foods create glucose spikes that are on average 42% bigger than before. Not because of age, because of the hormonal shift specifically. The exact same cookie, the exact same bowl of pasta, the exact same banana, creating nearly half again as much glucose disruption as it used to. This is not a small effect. Glucose spikes create inflammation, cravings, fatigue, bloating, mood swings, and weight gain. They have also been shown to slow the speed of information processing between neurons, which is a direct explanation for the brain fog that so many women experience during and after menopause. If you have been feeling like your mind is slower, your energy is less reliable, your weight is shifting for no apparent reason, this is one of the reasons why. Your hormonal environment has changed the way your body handles every carbohydrate you eat. The connection between glucose and menopause symptoms goes even deeper. During menopause, the job of producing female hormones transfers from the ovaries to the adrenal glands, the small glands that sit above the kidneys. But the adrenal glands also produce cortisol and adrenaline, our stress hormones. When you have frequent large glucose spikes, your body experiences them as a form of stress, causing the adrenals to release stress hormones. This leaves them with less capacity to produce female hormones effectively. The result is a direct link between blood sugar instability and the severity of menopause symptoms. Studies have shown that hot flashes and night sweats are significantly more common in women with high blood glucose and high insulin levels. And a major study found that reducing glucose spikes and flattening glucose curves is associated with approximately 30% fewer menopause symptoms overall. So what do? The most practical and immediately effective intervention is what researchers call glucose hacks, simple food strategies that reduce the spike from every meal without requiring you to eliminate any foods you love. Start meals with vegetables before carbohydrates. This fiber-first approach significantly slows glucose absorption. Never eat sugar on an empty stomach, always after a meal when other food in the system slows the spike. Have a small amount of vinegar before or with meals, apple cider vinegar and water, or vinegar dressing on a salad. This has been shown to significantly reduce glucose spikes. Choose savory breakfast over sweet, starting the day with protein and fat rather than carbohydrates or fruit sets a much more stable glucose foundation for the entire day. Move after eating. Even a 10-minute walk after a meal dramatically reduces the glucose spike from that meal. These are not complicated changes. They are small shifts in how you eat that produce measurable, rapid improvements in how you feel. Most women who implement these strategies notice a difference within days. Now I want to talk about muscle and bone because this is where the long-term stakes of menopause are highest and where the most important action you can take is often the most underestimated. As estrogen declines, muscle mass naturally decreases. This is not just an aesthetic issue. Muscle is one of the most important organs of longevity. It is where excess glucose gets stored. Every gram of muscle you maintain is storage capacity for blood sugar that would otherwise spike. It protects your joints and skeleton, and it keeps your metabolism active. The loss of estrogen also shifts where the body deposits fat, from the hips and thighs, where it was relatively harmless, to the abdomen, where it is associated with inflammation and metabolic risk. And it decreases bone density, increasing the risk of fractures, which for women our age can genuinely be the beginning of a serious decline. The solution is resistance training, lifting weights 3 times a week. Not light weights with many reps, genuinely challenging weights in the 8 to 12 repetition range. I know that for many of us, this sounds intimidating. It did for me. But the research is unambiguous and the benefits are extraordinary. Every session of resistance training signals your muscles to maintain themselves, stimulates bone density, improves glucose metabolism, and directly counteracts the most serious long-term effects of declining estrogen. And resistance training only works at its full potential when combined with adequate protein intake. Most women our age eat far too little protein. The research now suggests we need approximately 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. That is significantly more than most of us consume, and significantly more than older dietary guidelines suggested. At every meal, prioritize protein, particularly leucine-rich proteins like dairy, eggs, meat, and fish, which have been shown to have the strongest muscle-building effects. One final topic I want to address is hormone replacement therapy. I want to mention this because no honest conversation about menopause is complete without it. The current science suggests that transdermal hormones, patches or gels applied to the skin, are associated with fewer cardiovascular risks than oral hormone pills. If you are experiencing significant symptoms and have not spoken to your doctor about HRT, that conversation is worth having. Used appropriately, it can be a powerful part of managing this transition. But it is most effective in combination with the food and movement strategies I have described, not as a replacement for them. The version of menopause I was given, hot flashes, discomfort, just get through it, missed almost everything that matters. What menopause actually is a hormonal shift that changes how your body processes food, stores fat, builds muscle, maintains bone, and manages energy and mood. It is not a passive process that happens to you. It is a changed environment that you can actively respond to. The women who come out of this transition feeling strong, capable, and vital are the ones who understood what was changing and made informed choices in response. I want that for you. If this video helped you understand what is actually happening in your body and what you can do about it, please subscribe for more strategies that work for women our age. I'm Barbara Lawson. Thanks for watching.